Welcome to MOWE Oldies. Surprise, it's not Felippe here, it's Raff. I was invited by Felippe to react to one of the videos that we have, like one of the old videos that we have, in a solo format this time. The team selected a video for me to react, so let's see it.
Does your business deliver a connected customer experience? What does that even mean?
That's nice. Okay, Apigee OmniConnected. It was a project that we did directly with Google, so it was really nice to kind of have their marketing team working together with us, because Apigee is a service of APIs for software. So Google invited us to make this video so they could also share a little bit of the kind of case studies of some of their clients that they use Apigee as a platform for API. This project was also it was illustrated by me. It was animated by Felippe, who is also the co-founder of MOWE. But if I'm not mistaken, I think that Pedro, who's nowadays our lead animator, I think that this was the first project that he worked with us. And he clearly did a good job, and since then we have been working with him. So I'm going to hit play and see what I can talk about the project as a whole.
For too many businesses, building a connected experience.
I remember that we had some issues here for this change in the from this line with kind of a rounded border to the kind of the completely round version. But I remember that Felippe found a solution for this and it was really, really nice.
Website, check. Mobile app, check. Customers delighted.
Yeah, I really like this. It was something that it wasn't in the beginning of the project. And when we were doing the animation and everything, we felt that we could have a bigger gap. So it was basically a kind of suggestion in the end when we were doing the sound design. We just said, can we just kind of have a hard stop there, so we can maybe play a little bit with this ideology, like something that is going, then it just breaks and it becomes kind of to give a kind of a sad feeling to this beginning of the story.
Not quite. What's more important than individual assets is how both physical and digital assets fit together to create a frictionless experience for the customer. Businesses that leap ahead of the competition mix and match assets to deliver seamless experiences and interactions across multiple channels. How? With APIs. Modern APIs enable companies...
Yeah, I remember that this was one of the first scenes that Pedro animated. And he has one of my favorite scenes that he has animated. I wouldn't say in his career, but I remember that when I saw that scene and I said this guy is good, so we should definitely work with him more. We'll get there eventually.
Interface. They create a way for developers to easily and securely connect legacy systems with all kinds of applications, platforms, and devices.
I also really like this. We had to illustrate the Google Assistant and play a little bit with the kind of the Google Assistant animation and everything.
When was the last time you brought a roll of film to the drugstore for prints? The first cell phone with a camera hit the scene in 2002. And as the decade progressed, cameras found their way into virtually...
I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think I remember that when we were doing this, we had a big discussion about how we would handle this. The thing is, Google is really they I wouldn't say that they own the colors, but you see red, blue, green, and yellow in combination, and you know there is something about Google. So a lot of the things that we try to do as well is kind of play with this in the direction of the project. So I remember that when we were discussing how we could do this, I remember that I really, really liked the solution of the numbers changing and the colors changing as well.
Virtually every device, shifting consumer behavior around photo printing. Recognizing that many people no longer bring rolls of film to the store.
This was one of the first projects I think that we have used texture inside Illustrator. I don't remember exactly how we did that, because nowadays I know that we do it slightly different, but it was basically you would create a noise, and then you would use multiply and some other things to kind of create the noise inside Illustrator, so we wouldn't have to mess with Photoshop brushes and those kind of things. And I remember that it was something that we played a little bit, we experiment, and we found a nice solution that worked well.
Walgreens turned to APIs and Apigee to enable photo printing right from mobile devices. Customers snap a picture, touch it up in a photo editing tool, and send it off to a Walgreens store for printing, all from their mobile device. And the century-old drugstore didn't stop there. APIs and Apigee power Walgreens loyalty and prescription refill programs. Bridging the physical and digital world for their customers, Walgreens created an ecosystem.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened, but like we had a problem. I think that they changed the script like when we were already doing, and then we have to find a way to kind of buy some time. So we had to kind of do those crops into the layout, and then we had to put everything to black and white to highlight some of the things. So yeah, like when clients add a script, detail on the script later on the project, you usually have to kind of do something to like kind of workarounds. Also, something that I really like is that is animation of the thing spinning and a few objects to still kind of falling and kind of a drag of the movement.
It's doing it. Ticketmaster meets their customers wherever they are, getting more tickets to more people faster than ever before. APIs enable developers and partners to integrate Ticketmaster services.
Yeah, so like we are basically talking about how the API allows people to kind of work closer and kind of improve the whole work environment for developers and everything. Basically make the apps work closer and better, integrate better. And I remember like the illustration, it was simply like kind of a person, like people, and also like the same way that we had to create illustrations and use some of the illustrations that we had. We also edited a lot of the illustrations. So like this one, we just like, I think that there was basically a table with people kind of using the computer. So we basically kind of gathered the characters with the computers, and then we made the lines, and then we had the idea of kind of, let's have a huge table, much like those family tables that like people are really distant from each other, kind of in an impersonal way, and bring them together with the idea of integration
into third-party apps. Within 18 months of opening up their platform, 10% of all tickets sold by Ticketmaster came through partners. Ticketmaster manages and secures its open APIs with Apigee's API platform. It's a fact. APIs enable companies to innovate rapidly, respond to changing technologies, and accommodate customer preferences.
Yeah, I remember that we also had to, like, this scene was a scene that already existed, but not exactly like that. And also I remember that those characters, the kind of the structure that we had in the file was terrible, so we had to recreate them and make them a little bit more easier to animate. But I think that the final result was nice.
This platform helps businesses realize the full potential of their APIs, whether inside the corporate data center or distributed across multiple clouds. Comprehensive analytics and self-service features make APIs easy for partners and developers to discover and use. Tools to package APIs as products and monetize them for different audiences also help companies get their APIs in the hands of the developers who will build on them. With the control and visibility over APIs that Apigee provides, hundreds of companies are turning data and systems into strategic assets, quickly building new products and services, and delivering truly connected customer experiences.
Yeah, this one, I don't think that like we had those connections. I think that it was just a character holding something else, and we had to basically swap a little bit, kind of reuse the like the same way that animation can be kind of you can use the assets of animation for like outdoors or magazine ads or other kind of static ads. It's also something that happens a lot, like you have a static illustration and then you want to use them in animation. So it was the first project that we did this, of kind of reusing something that already existed. So I think that what I really like about it is the final result for the time constraint that we had, and all the challenges that we had during the script review, that also tightened a little bit the time that we had for the project. I think that the final result is really great, and I remember that they were really happy with the result. So yeah, if the client's happy, there's nothing to worry about.
You can learn more at apigee.com.
Yeah, awesome. It's really nice to always go back to projects, see, kind of tell the stories of how things were done, and revisit some of the kind of the oldies that we love. Thank you for sticking with me throughout the whole video, and if you like this content, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you'd like to see more of our work, read some of our insights, you can go to our website, mowestudio.com or mowe.studio, both work, and just follow our social media. That's it. Thanks. See ya.